So hey, what's up? My name is Steven Saunders. I'm 45 years old, born May 3rd. I was born in Nova Scotia, Canada, the East Coast, and that is where I'm at now. I've been a YouTuber for over 10 years. I'm also a nerd who likes tabletop role-playing games. I cover that content quite a bit. But I'm not just a nerd. I'm a very charismatic guy. I get out in life and I hustle. In the tabletop role-playing game hobby, I'm a public game master, meaning I get out and I meet strangers and I run the game for them. Because I'm a crowd-working type of guy. I mean, you could put me in the middle of a crowd of like 1,000 people. I'll speak, very proudly and highly, and I won't be shy at all. I mean, it just goes away from me, honestly, when people throw me into groups into a public setting. Any shyness I might have goes away. I don't have too much, so it doesn't take much. I have been game mastering tabletop role-playing games since 1991. And I have ran thousands of gaming sessions for thousands of players. I have ran multiple games, and I have played multiple games. I've dedicated myself to the hobby because I have a passion for it, for many reasons. I tell you I'm a nerd, but it's more than that. I would say role-playing, tabletop role-playing games, saved my life. As a youth, I was a bit of a troublemaker, and I didn't really know where to direct that energy. And then I met a group of military people that, they do this. And here I am today. Somebody who's not in jail, but instead, now I'm selling a tabletop role-playing game on the market. What a fucking achievement. I'm not someone who's supposed to get there. I don't come from a world or a life where people around me have ever gotten anywhere in life, if you get what I'm saying. That's where I'm at. But because I found this passion, it has driven me, right? And I'm a hard-working person. So I might not be your typical nerd that knows a lot of programs and computer stuff, and I'm not a techie person. I'll be real with you. I'm a bit of a hard ass, to be honest. But here I am somehow in this hobby of nerds, right? And I love it. Say hi, Louie. This is my cat, Louie. Of course, my eyes are all over the place. Who cares? Say hi, Louie. Don't be shy. Look over here. Look over here. Look over here. you get him for about 2 seconds, but I'm going to put him down over here because he's fidgety. He's a fidgety kid. So this is who I am, a regular guy. Nobody special, right? But I think I am special, to be honest. I'll be real with you. I get a huge ego. I'm very confident in myself. My tabletop role-playing game, I think, is the best tabletop role-playing game to ever exist. It's the best on the market right now. That's my claim, but that's the kind of confidence I have, and I have a passion for what I'm doing. So I'm never going to sell myself short, or my work, because I know it's good. I'm a bit old school when it comes to demanding respect, self-respect, not putting up with shit from people. I say old school because it just seems like a lot of people today have a completely different view of the world. But not so much in the real world, but when you get on the internet, it's weird. I talk about it like the YouTube backwards warped thinking, right? Where people say shit to you that in life would get them cut off, but somehow on here it's, I'm just another YouTuber, I say some shit about you, but guess what? In a week, we can do some great content. Want to do that? And I'm like, I'm not in the WWE, I'm a real guy. But who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Well, he keeps bugging me, so I figure he wants to be in the video. He keeps coming over when I'm trying to record this and just bugging me and bugging me and bugging me. And when I put him up in front of the camera, he just doesn't want to. Look, he's cute, isn't he? His name is Louie. I've had him for years. He's like my son. He's like family to me. I love him. And I would do anything for him. So take a good look. I'm a sucker for him. You want to know how I found Louie? He was starving to death as a baby kitten. Came up to the door, my door, And then I opened the door and he came in. I was like, well, I guess you choose me. And so many years later, here he is, little chubby gray kitten, well taken care of, lives like a king. I treat him better than I treat myself. When I say I wear many hats, that includes the hat of a critic. My critical content on YouTube can sometimes get me in a lot of trouble, right? It just, that's where I get my haters from, really. And it's my criticism of things in the tabletop role-playing game hobby. You know, that's really where it draws the haters. That all my haters come from that hobby. Though I've given up on really focusing on the overall hobby as far as dealing with people in that social way. Just doesn't seem to work out for me too well. I'm a bit of an odd cat, as you can tell. I'm an oddball. I'm an oddball, right? Just how it is. I'm a bit of a crazy person out there, but I'm made for game mastering. You know, I have a lot of charisma. I'm somebody who, if you put in that seat, I'm ready for it. And I'm ready for the players. And I'm always excited. You know, I've never had a burnout, right? A lot of game masters over the years get burnt out in the game. I've only had to take a time out for work. Never had the experience of being burnt out as a game master. That's how much I love the hobby. But you know, I'm really trying to open myself up in a different way on here because I think I rub a lot of people the wrong way, right? So I'm trying to change that as best I can. You can tell me if it's working. I don't make content where I really like to go on and say, hey, like the content and subscribe and all that. I've done it a few times over the time I've been on YouTube, but very few times because I think, like, look, I'm just going to perform for you, which is what I'm doing now. No script, no nothing, just off the top of my head talk to you. And if you like my performance and you like what I'm doing here, you can support me. If you like my game, well, you can find some links down below and you can go purchase that, which is really a major bit of support, right? But I'm not going to beg you for support. I'm just hoping that the content or what I have to say is enough to draw you in. The only thing I ask from anybody is a fair shake. If you give me a fair chance, I'll win you, right? I have a lot of interesting things to say. It's not every video is going to be the hottest thing that you want to hear, but I have enough. And if you give me an honest fair shake, and you can look past any negatives, I guess, any rubbing the wrong way that comes from me, if you can look by that, I think you'll be interested in what I have to say here. You know, I cover a lot of things. And I think I'm just an interesting person, right? A little crazy, a little out there. I can deliver on so many things, right? So you can come to me with anything. I cover all kinds of different content. I'll talk about anything. I just don't care, right? Like I do, you know what I mean. I mean, I'm not trying to pigeonhole myself into one topic online where that's all I talk about. Right? But don't get it wrong, I do talk a lot about tabletop role-playing games, but I like the door to be open to other subjects, right? Because I have a lot to say. Well, there you go. That's me. Rough around the edges, a normal guy. It's not like there's some green screen behind me. This is what you get. Pretty, like I'm a normal guy in life. Like if a camera's aimed at me, you're looking into my life. You're not looking into a studio, right? You might hear some background noise every so often. You know, kids in the background, a dog's barking. Because I'm not a professional at this. I'm just a regular guy who comes on here, and I have no shame about that, right? Or I have no shame that I'm showing you my life. You're not looking at something that is just where I've gone and cleaned myself up and come in and look a certain way and comb my hair a certain way for you and do all that. I don't. I just press record. And you get me just walking in the door. That's it. That's it. Off the top of my head, because I don't script again, as I said. I perform. All right? Anyway, I love you. For now. Take care.